intuitiveness, creativity, genetics, passion, talent. My name's Aaron Martinez. I'm 37 years old. I'm an artist. I come from a long line of a family of artists. All my aunts and uncles were all artistically inclined. They're all painters, creators of some sort. I've been commissioned to do art since I was probably 18 years old. I started out as a caricature artist, worked my way through as a cartoonist, attended school, DMAC, and was a commercial artist. Got hired on as a graphic designer. I was doing illustrations and being commissioned to do paintings. I guess at some point during that process of getting into the graphic design community and having a more established means of making money artistically, I kind of fell out of love of the work of doing art, in a sense of it became a job, and it wasn't more about the creation, or it wasn't about the intuitiveness of the mind or about the depth of the spirit. It was more in lines of customer service, satisfying people in a commercial environment for marketing, and I just was at the age I was at, the maturity I was at. I wasn't ready to be involved with something like that. I was still in that search for myself and trying to figure out a way that I could be creative and kind of speak my language to the world. So I gained a life full of experiences being in the military and having to not only network and push myself through different mental challenges. My life took a pretty sudden change once I was deployed to Iraq in 2003. I was a combat armsman. I was a 19-kilo tanker, so a lot of my involvement was face-to-face fighting. It was along within the Sunni Triangle, and being a young man at that age, and being very observant and intuitive and creative in a sense that it really took a real big giant toll on my spiritual life, my morality, the way that I was viewing people, the way that I was viewing the involvement with the military and the military machine, as well as I developed questions along the way with post 9/11 events. Those things helped change me and transition me, and now that I'm out of the Army and I'm not stuck so much in that barrier, I've had a great opportunity to really expand my thoughts and change my canvas per se. And that was kind of one of the challenges that was given to me as I was speaking to people that I trust about getting out of the military and what am I going to do with the rest of my life type thing. And, as an artist, that was one of the broader words that really enlightened my ability to make this transformation is, the world is your canvas. You can create what you want to create from it. Along with my own personal philosophies and thoughts and spirituality, I was able to transcend those thoughts into just being a firm believer in myself and those who are around me that have likewise minds and intelligent thinkers, is just putting together this landscape of ways of being creative and finding an atmosphere for it, being connected to the right people. So I guess in a nutshell, that's kind of where I'm at with art today. Is I'm a creator, I'm a designer. I'd like to think that I'm a great advisor for anybody in the marketing world and anybody searching for ideas and concepts of whether it's dance, music, art, drawing, painting, printmaking, crafting, music production. I just, God was giving me a gift to create and be in touch with my inner self and the understanding of all these thoughts and memories and experiences that have been passed down for a very long time. My mission is to, right now, currently where I'm at in my life, is to create work, of course, personal work that I can find time to do. I run a production team, so being that, I try to put myself into a role of being that big brother. The big brother everybody wants is somebody that knows how to run a team, and through my military experience I have a lot of experience with running teams and facilitating that. And like I said, we're part of this monetary world, so in order to be successful with that, the goal of Fat Hand Productions is me as kind of the executive director of it is just making enough money to keep doing what we want to do. It's not about getting rich. We're never gonna see that, But it's about providing a great community of people that have common goals and can enrich a community and can teach young people. Can be involved in as many different projects as possible that causes this change and this influence. One of my ideas is about that is kind of one of the forefronts of my production team is installing images into people's head that helps them develop a sense of change. So, everybody uses it in the marketing world of, even from their color choice to design elements to help program people to buy their product. My idea is to implant change, to support some of the philosophies that I have as an artist in the deeper sense of community and being a part of sustainment and an overall kind of a life force for what we're losing as a people. This work was created for a body of work. Like I said, I was in the Army, so I've gone through some traumatic experiences in combat operations. One of the things during that recovery process, and getting out of the Army was going through some different therapy modalities to learn how to kind of refocus the mind. And after 3 years of kind of going through this, is what I figured out is it's really about reprogramming the mind. The Army and military machine in general kind of programs the mind to become a certain person. You go to basic training and they wash the mind and they take who you were and put it in a duffel bag and then train you to be something different. So during this process of getting out, I had to learn how to reprogram my mind, and part of getting that out was through art therapy as a modality. And that generated some work which will be on display here pretty soon. But this in particular piece is called the Valentine's Day Massacre. And not to get too deep into the subject, and more focus on the actual art itself, I do have a certain type of style that I like to utilize, and some people will make comparisons to Cubism or you know, highly illustrated, and it does have some of those qualities. There is some cube work in there. There is, you know, it does have a high illustration, cartoonish feel to it. In context, it's very deep. It is, you know, it is dark subject matter, but kind of the way that I paint these things, and I've done several in this type of style, it's kind of generated into kind of my touch, is the way that I work the pieces out when I'm moving it from my brain to, you know, canvas, paper, board, panel, whatever, a wall, it doesn't matter. There's really an ending process that I see, but it transcends itself. As I start applying paint, or I'm applying the medium to the work, there's this disconnection from expectation. I just kind of let the mind take over through patterning that I've seen before and visualized, and through those different experiences and conversations and the way I evaluate life, and they just come out to kind of like a lot of lines that intersect, and which takes me into thought patterns about how we as people cross paths. You know, it's kind of like that spider web effect, where a spider creates a web and we're all connected, and we take those various routes, and sometimes we cross paths and we rarely know it. But there's a moment that brings us all intellectually, it attaches us to that situation. So my drawings and my paintings are a lot like that, where those past memories and those future thoughts, they all kind of combine together and they intermix themselves. So there's several layers of my subconscious that is incorporated into the work. And this isn't a really great example of it, just because the image is pretty direct, but a lot of my other work, that has been something that's been done in the past with me several times, is there's a lot of work that's incorporated within the work. And most people do not see it on initial visualization. They don't see the connection until it's pointed out to them, or it's explained through an artist statement. But this is one of my favorite pieces, just because it's taken so long to do it, even though you know, it probably could have been done fast, but it just, the thought process and the subject matter has allowed time to kind of slow the process of development, compared to like how I do some of my pieces, where I'll just get the idea, get the picture, especially if it's a commissioned piece and I have no connection to it. I finish it in a couple hours. I start it, finish it, and leave it alone.